I'm Abigail, and I'm a big, beautiful woman. Hello, my YouTube subscribers. Oh, wait. I don't have any. Well, it's okay. I'm not really doing this for you at this point. I think, as of right now, I'm doing it more for myself. But if you guys get anything out of it, that's great. So today, I want to talk about what caused me to gain weight. Because let's just start off with some information on me. I'm currently 16, going to turn 17 in June. I am going to be a senior in high school starting in August, where after that I will go to college because that's what I need to do. But I currently am 5'7", and I weigh 268 pounds, and I wear an American pant size of 20. Yeah. So, so back to the topic of me and my weight gain. I'm going to talk about different life events, and I have pictures to go along with them, to try to describe to you some of my childhood events that caused me to emotionally eat, which then in turn caused me to gain weight. I'm not saying that I didn't gain weight because of food and unhealthy habits. Yes, that's exactly why I gained weight, but the reasons behind me eating, I feel, are more important to be told than the amount of food I ate, because obviously you don't need step-by-step instructions on how to get fat. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. But so I'm going to start off at the beginning, when I was a child. So here's my first picture. When I was a child, I mean, it was a pretty good life. I was happy. I don't remember knowing what fat was. I had a overweight mother, but I never really thought of her as overweight, because back then you didn't have any outside effects on you and how you perceive things. You don't have influences of the media and things to make you see, oh, well, she's not what she's supposed to be, therefore she's fat or she's ugly. No. Everyone was just a person, which I kind of miss it that way. But I had a pretty loving life. I mean, I was fed. I mean, I had brothers and sisters who loved me. I mean, I have these really cute pictures. I don't know why I didn't put them in the pile, of my older brother, Quinn, feeding me a bottle with his feet. And it was so cute. But I was pretty happy. I mean, I went to a private school. I was extremely religious when I was younger, because both my parents were. I had everything I needed. We were lower middle class, but when I said earlier, I really didn't know much about it because I wasn't really touched by that stuff yet, because I mean, I was innocent. But my mother and father started to have a turbulent relationship around for most of my life they had one, but I kind of suppressed memories on things, like unhappy things I don't want to remember, so I suppress them. So I didn't really know that my father was abusive towards my mother until much later in my life. But his abuse caused them to get divorced when I was 6 and a first grader at my Catholic school. And because of the divorce, my mother could no longer afford my private fees to attend my Catholic school, so I had to switch into public school mid-year. And that was a culture shock in itself. I mean, I went to a private school where most kids were extremely religious and didn't cuss, and I can remember my first bus ride home from public school, and I think I learned like every single cuss word on that ride. I mean, I lived a pretty sheltered life until then. But public school was probably the first time I was ever bullied. I can remember these 2 girls coming up to me, calling me names, calling me ugly, calling me fat, and they'd push me into walls. They would poke fun at me and then physically assault me, and I was like, oh, that sucks. So I would go home to my mother and I would cry, and I would be like, what's wrong with me, Mom? She was like, nothing's wrong with you. So But around this time is when my mother met my stepfather, my quote unquote stepfather. They never actually got married, but uh, he's a really good man. He has his flaws, and everyone does, but he was the caretaker. I mean, I lived in a household up until then that didn't have a father figure, that didn't have a male provider. We were surviving on food pantries, and him moving in and living with us brought an income, and he was also emotionally involved with us, which you'll understand how emotionally involved he was later. But but back to his flaws. He was an ex-con. My mother met him on when he was on work release, working at her work. So he he had several addictions to alcohol and several illegal substances, and this really saddened my mother. I can remember on her 40th birthday, 2007, her coming home, and me and my stepdad had been home, and he was out in the garage getting high. And I can remember my mother crying for hours, and it really bugged her because she saw the potential in him, and he just fell short. Um, but this she was this isn't the only thing that caused her depression. She was a very depressed lady, and she was on several antidepressants. And the Christmas of 2008, she went into the hospital because she couldn't remember if she had taken more than needed pills. So she had to get her stomach pumped. And she came home for Christmas, the last Christmas I had with her, and we were happy. I mean, that's probably I don't remember that Christmas very much, but all I can remember, it was a very happy day. And then after Christmas, she went back into the hospital. I can remember the last time I saw her, she forgot her robe, and I was dancing in the street. And it's probably one of my happiest memories and my most cherished memory and it's not even of my mother, it's of me being happy. Because on December 30th, 2008, my 7th grade year, she passed away from an enlarged heart. So here's the very last picture. I mean, this is probably the most recent picture of my mother. She passed away from an enlarged heart, which was caused by her being overweight. I forgot to show you these little. And this probably is what caused the most of my weight gain. Like, before, yes, I was 20 pounds overweight, but who really isn't 20 pounds overweight? At that point, that's when I became 60, 70 pounds overweight. I wasn't borderline fit. I was not fit at all. So, and it really saddened me, but I mean, I can look at the good sides of it. My stepdad ended up getting co-custody of me with my grandma, and I gained a lot of relationships. Like, my mother had a child when she was only 13 that she put up for adoption, and after her death, my biological father actually found him, and this is the shirt he gave me. And I lost someone, but then I gained someone. So, it was good. So I ended up graduating 8th grade and going into high school, where I was in an advanced program called the International Baccalaureate Program, which is a very rigorous program. It's more world viewed and more discussion based, which I really enjoy. And so I was stressed with high school. Freshman year, I was in a wedding with my adopted big sister at the time. And I was pretty happy until my sophomore year, when my grandmother didn't feel like it was safe for me to live with my stepfather anymore, so I had to move into where she lives, which caused me a lot of depression because I was taken away from where I was comfortable and caused to live in a new place, a new situation. I still got to attend the same high school because my grandmother didn't live very far away, and she also owned the house that was in the district, so I still am able to attend, but it was very sad. But so as you can tell, I kind of you see the gaining weight over time. This is my junior prom. That was actually 2 to 3 weeks ago. I thought it looked really pretty. I actually made this dress in kind of. But I guess the reason I shared this story was because it puts a perspective into people who are overweight. It doesn't, it shows you that there's more to it than just overeating. Some people, it's thyroid problems. Some people, it's depression, emotional eating. Other people, it's genetics. And I understand that there's some people who can help it. Like, now being me, I could help it because I'm becoming stronger and I'm becoming a woman who understands that she's beautiful for who she is. And with that, I agree that I should lose weight for health reasons, but that doesn't mean you should hold it against me that I haven't. Because I'm not here complaining that I'm overweight. I'm not here saying, oh, I should be treated differently because I'm fat. No. I'm here telling you that you need to be accepted. Meaning you need to accept different people. And people who aren't the same. And, because people are overweight for different reasons. I'm overweight because of all the craziness that happened in my life. The divorce of my parents, the abuse of my father, the death of my mother, the abuse of my stepfather, the abrupt movements of my life, the court cases, depression caused by all these things. There isn't a simple explanation for why someone is overweight. You can't tell them, oh, they need to exercise more. Because, to be honest, I do a lot of physical activity. I'm on a flag team for my high school. I'm on the JROTC. I love going for hikes in the woods. I swim. I go for walks sometimes. I mean, there isn't one reason. You can't say there's one reason why someone's fat. I mean, you may see it that way because you haven't been fat, but if you ever have been fat, you know that there's more than one reason why you're fat. So I think the reason I made this video is to share my story, to share why I'm fat. Because maybe, just maybe, it'll show someone who's fat that they're not alone and why they're fat, or it'll show someone who's not fat who makes fun of fat people that, oh, there's more to it. Because in a day and age where it's frowned upon to discriminate against skin color, to gender, nationality, why is it still acceptable to discriminate based on weight? It sickens me that we're still here. We're still at a place where not everyone is equal. Because there's so many other people out there who are discriminated based on different things. Weight is just one of the things. But it's 2013, people. It's ridiculous that we are still here. So if you get one thing from this video, I think I want you to get that people go through different things. That who they are and how they look is based on the environment in which they grow up in. So if you're going to discriminate someone based on how they look, how they act, you need to first understand how they got that way. Because nothing is black and white. Okay? Nothing is plain and simple. Everything is complicated. So, next time, don't be so quick to judge. Don't judge a book by its cover. Okay? Bye.